Now we're kind of in this waiting period, a vacation period, if you will, in the National Football League, with training camp coming up in about 4 to 5 weeks. In fact, I believe the Chargers and the Lions, the two teams who play in the Hall of Fame game, will actually be reporting in less than a month all their veterans. I think the day was July 15th that they'd be reporting for training camp because, I mean, you look at that odds board, Jared. We got the Hall of Fame coming up July 31st, man. Like it's not that far away.
Crazy.
Hall of Fame game between the Chargers and the Lions, buddy. We got to pick them in a total of 32.5, which we'll have plenty of time to get into that coming up later on at the end of July. But we felt like now would be a good time to kind of take inventory on some of the bold predictions that we have for this National Football League season. And full disclosure, one of the reasons why we sparked this idea was because NFL.com's Jeffrey Chadia, he wrote out his 10 bold predictions for this upcoming NFL season. A couple of them, I'll read off a couple of them to you, Jared, because I think some of them are really interesting. One of them, he had Broncos to win the AFC West to kind of take back the throne from the Kansas City Chiefs. He has Caleb Williams throwing for 4,500 yards, 35 touchdowns. He has Daniel Jones as comeback player of the year. And then Ashton Genty, who's here hanging out with us in Las Vegas. He's got Genty running for more than 2,000 yards, flirting with Eric Dickerson's rookie record, I believe that would be, if Genty is able to get to 2,000 yards. So those are some of his bold predictions. We have each written down 3 bold predictions for this upcoming NFL year. I will start off with you, Jared. How about you lead us off here? Just give us one, and we'll go back and forth on the bold predictions and what we like and why we like them.
Full disclosure, I actually did 4 because I always do a little extra credit just in case. And I kind of segmented them off. So I have one about a player, one about a team, one about a coach, and then another about an award market that's kind of lumped into a position.
I love it.
Which one do you want me to do first? I'll let you decide.
Let's go with player first. We'll go from micro to macro.
All right. Derek Carr will unretire and start at quarterback for someone this season.
Hello.
Just a hunch.
Okay.
No data to back this up. I talked about
inside
this when
sources?
he actually. No inside sources.
He's still hanging around here in Vegas, Jared. I don't know. You and Derek Carr hanging out. I don't know what's going on. Like peel back the layers here, buddy.
Well, the layer was him retiring was, in my opinion, one of the biggest shockers that we've ever seen in the NFL. Because what have we been told since the days of Gordon Gekko? Greed is good. He was going to get paid $30 million this year to sit on his arse and not play. And he, I guess, had some kind of charitable, I don't know, maybe like, the ghosts of Christmas past came to him in a dream and said, I don't want to take this money from the Saints. I'm going to give it back. That just sounds crazy to me. So what I think actually happened is he probably realized the situation in New Orleans is no bueno for any chance of him playing in the NFL ever again. Because if you go play for the Saints again, you get your butt kicked, you get more injured. That wear and tear on your shoulder is probably no good. So he probably thought, all right, if I really want to play ever again, I'm going to have to leave this situation, heal up, and then return for a situation that's significantly better. So I don't want to say it's a conspiracy theory, but I do think the whole retirement of him leaving all that money on the table was very unique. And it leads me to believe that he will return at some point. And there's always a quarterback needy team that would be probably happy to have him. I can think of a couple off the top of my head. But my guess is it'll be a team that is desperate, has an injury, and they call Derek Carr, and he answers the call.
Yeah, I don't think it's a conspiracy theory at all. I actually think that you're right. Like, I don't know if it's going to be this year, but I don't think he's like retired. We're never going to see Derek Carr ever again. Like, I think he will play again because, like you, when he did it, and it's like, oh yeah, like I just felt like I didn't want to take their money. Come on. Everyone's taking money, man. Come on. We're not going to be like, oh, this is my altruistic way of life to where I want to just give all this money away. Stop it. This was a path for him to get off the Saints roster, and I think he will play at some point. Maybe not 2025, but I'll be surprised if we do not see Derek Carr in 2026. I'm calling cap on what Derek Carr is doing with his retirement. So I'm semi in lockstep with you there with Derek Carr coming out of retirement. I just don't know if it's going to happen in 2025 because he does need surgery. And it sounds like the surgery was going to be putting him out for quite some time. So I don't know if any team will want to kick the tires on Derek Carr, maybe give him a full offseason to sort of recover before he's back behind center. My first bold prediction has to do with Derek Carr's old team. And it's one I've talked about throughout this NFL offseason, but at the price, I think it's bold, and I think a lot of people would think it's bold as well, just thinking about this team making the playoffs, and that's the Las Vegas Raiders. I think the Las Vegas Raiders will make the playoffs this upcoming NFL season. Like, when you improve at quarterback, the rest of the roster improves so much. Like, the quarterback is the diaper, if you will. Like that's the diaper that holds everything together. If you don't have the diaper, it's all stinky. All right? And you might stink with the diaper a little bit. Obviously, you're going to smell, but it's not going to be smeared all over the place. It's going to be contained in an area. Like, a good quarterback is like a diaper, and I think Geno Smith will be the diaper for the Las Vegas Raiders. Like, that defense is actually good. Like, we just didn't see it because they were always on the field and they were always trailing because their quarterback play was horrendous. Gardner Minshew, Desmond Ridder, get out of here. Aiden O'Connell, please. And then Antonio Pierce, who looked like his head was spinning at head coach. Enter in Pete Carroll, Mr. Vibes, Captain Vibes. Like, you think Dan Quinn is Mr. Vibes? No, Dan Quinn learned it from Pete Carroll. I think the vibes will be a complete 180 with the silver and black. I have the Raiders making the playoffs.
I don't hate it. And again, it is bold, and it goes
not quite Genty going for 2,000 yards, but I think you'll have a good season.
And it's kind of funny because we're weirdly in alignment on a lot of this, but kind of on different frequencies. So I'll bring it back to my bold take, which is the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be that team that nobody expects, or maybe a couple people expect to make the playoffs. They're about plus 170 right now. But the reason for this, and you could say this about a lot of teams, including the Raiders, every year since 2000, at least one team with a win total of 8 or less has made the playoffs. In 20 of the last 25 years, 21 of the last 25, 2 teams have made it. So in 23, you had the Texans and the Bucks, both with win totals of 8 or less, make the playoffs. Last year, Commanders, Broncos, Vikings, win totals of 6 and 6.5. All 3 of those teams made the playoffs. So don't be afraid to look down at the 7.5s and the 6.5 win totals and fire on those teams to make the playoffs, because the backlog says every year over the last 25 years, at least one of them has. So I think Jacksonville is one of those teams. Jets, Giants. I don't know if I'd go Browns, Saints. I think that's maybe where I would draw the line. But one of those teams that has a win total of 7.5 or fewer, they're going to make the playoffs. That's what the numbers say.
Yeah, I love it. In Jacksonville, like, if they do make the playoffs, Liam Cohen, Coach of the Year, like, he's definitely like a finalist, or at least in the conversation for that award. But like, that offense, hard not to be excited. Brian Thomas Jr., Travis Hunter, like Trevor Lawrence, maybe now with some different coaching, maybe that can help him kind of get out of the rut that he's been in the last couple of years. I like what you're putting down here with the Jacksonville Jaguars making the playoffs. My next one will kind of go in alignment with what you have. It's also in the AFC South. It's with the Indianapolis Colts. Daniel Jones ain't winning no damn comeback player of the year. In fact, the Indianapolis Colts will have the number 1 overall pick at the end of this season. I have the Colts' worst record in the NFL this year. Have you taken a look at the Colts' schedule? Just looking at things right now, because the start, it ain't easy, man. And we know their general manager, Chris Ballard, their head coach, Shane Steichen, those 2 guys are on the hot seat. They had to put out a statement at the end of last regular season saying that they were returning. That means your job is in jeopardy. First game of the season against the Miami Dolphins, coin flip game. Miami could win. Indianapolis could win, but like, it's a coin flip game. If that goes wrong and they lose, they're 0-1. Second week, hosting the Denver Broncos. Denver's a better football team than Indianapolis. Like, I think Denver is going to be favored in that game. Likely outcome is that they lose. You could be 0-2 with 2 home games. After that, at the Tennessee Titans, who have a new quarterback, maybe they're much improved with Cam Ward. After that, at the Los Angeles Rams, flat out better football team. Week 5, hosting the Raiders. You know how I feel about Las Vegas. Week 6, hosting Arizona. Cardinals are a team that many people are expecting to take a step forward. Week 7, at the Chargers. Difficult game. Host Tennessee, probably favored, maybe pick them. At Pittsburgh, difficult game. Host Atlanta. Atlanta, I believe, is overseas, a neutral site. Atlanta will be favored. Then it's hosting or visiting the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, you can see how quickly this thing can get off the rails. I think Indianapolis, with Anthony Richardson hurt, Daniel Jones is a walking turnover. I think this team is going to get off to a very bad start. And at that point, fire the general manager, fire the head coach, and I think it will be Tankapalooza for Arch Manning this upcoming season. So I have the Colts with the number 1 overall pick.
Man, that'd be tough with all the Irsay stuff and all the weird offseason that the Colts had for that to happen, but I could absolutely see it. All right, I know we're running short on time, so I want to get you this last one. And it's a positional one, and it's the continued growth and I guess rebirth, rebirth of the RB. So we've seen this over the last couple years, but quietly in 2024, pass attempts per team dipped below 33 for the first time since 2008. We haven't seen a season with passing attempts below 32 since 2004. What was happening in 2004? That was the ascent of the Peyton Mannings and the Drew Breeses and the Tom Bradys and then the Mahomeses. Well, over the last couple years, we've seen running backs win Offensive Player of the Year award 2 years in a row, McCaffrey and Saquon. We haven't seen 3 consecutive OPOYs be a running back since the 96, 97, Terrell Davis, Barry Sanders, Marshall Faulk. Between 96 and 2003, 8 straight years a running back won the Offensive Player of the Year award. And then obviously we kind of went towards the receiver quarterback vibe. But the Mahomes rules, changing the way defenses are played, I think offensive coordinators are taking notice. And I think a running back for the 3rd straight year will win the Offensive Player of the Year award. And I think for the first time since 2004, passing attempts per game will dip below 32.
Hell yeah. Who's your running back to win OPOY?
I mean, how can I not do Derrick Henry after the whole? Didn't he have like didn't he said if he met 2,000 yards, he'd get to like meet someone? I forget which celebrity it was.
He gets to be in like an Adam Sandler movie, I believe is what.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So Derrick Henry's my pick right there. But 4 out of the top 5 guys on the OPOY market are all running backs. So I think the market is starting to kind of pick up on this. And I'm not saying there's like all this value on these, 10, 14 to 1s to win a season-long award, but I think overall you're going to see passing attempts continue to drop and the emphasis on the running game continue to increase.
There we go. Maybe Derrick Henry and Happy Gilmore 3 if they get that off the ground in a couple of years here. My final bold prediction is with the MVP award, a quarterback award, an award that goes to a team with a top 2 seed. I think this team will be the 1 seed in the NFC. That is the Green Bay Packers. I think Jordan Love will win NFL MVP 25-1 over at BetMGM. But I like Jordan Love quite a bit. I like this Packers team quite a bit. Offensively, they're humming along. Defensively, they've a second year of Jeff Hafley. I think they have a path with how they start the season. The schedule is pretty manageable. I think Jordan Love, healthy once again, picks up where he left off a couple years ago with that playoff run with the Green Bay Packers.